Welcome to the Your Biggest Vision show. I am your host, Leah Gervais, and today I am so excited to talk to you about one of my favorite business strategy topics and the single driving force behind my business. This was the case when my business was really first taking off, and it's still the case today. And that is, of course, list building, your email list, how you can connect with people via email marketing and via digital marketing. So I could go on forever about this, and I actually have covered a lot about this topic. And before we dive into what we're going to do today, which is the 5 mistakes you could be making with your email marketing, I want you to know that I have put together my top converting lead magnet of all time, and I have it available for free for you to download and see exactly how I've gotten thousands and thousands of people on my email list from this one piece of content. And not only have I gotten people on my email list from it, but they've been people that have turned into customers, clients, high-level clients. They've gone through many of my programs at this point and have been really on a huge journey with me as they build their business. So it is highly effective. It took me years to really perfect, I would say, and I still have never seen anything work quite as well as this. So if you want my top converting lead magnet of all time, then all you need to do is go to urban20something.com/lead magnet, and you can download it for free, as well as a breakdown of why it works so well. And take a quick sip of water. So in case you're a bit new to list building, I'll give you a little bit of background, and then we'll dive into the 5 mistakes you want to make sure you're not making. And this is going to be for you whether you are a small business owner, an entrepreneur, a blogger, a social media persona, really any business that has any sort of online presence. Even if you are a brick and mortar business, is going to have a much better time selling things consistently and staying in touch with their customers if they have a really solid email list building strategy and email marketing strategy. Now, because I love doing this so much, I talk to people all the time that are interested in learning how to build their email list or that want to improve upon their email marketing. And almost always they know that it's a really important thing to pay attention to, and they know that they should be building their email list. But it's usually put to the bottom of people's to-do lists. And I think that that's because actually navigating the waters of what you should strategically be doing with your email list and what it really means to put it on your to-do list and where to prioritize it is murky. It also kind of seems like one of those things that is never ending. It seems like if you start, where do you even draw the line? And I understand that. So I wanted to put together the 5 mistakes that you might be making so it's more clear about what you absolutely should not be doing, and then you can sort of work backward and do a process of elimination of what you need to do in order to get these systems in place at a bare minimum. And your email list will always be the best way for you to make sales and get customers. I know that it's really popular to put a lot on social media, run Facebook ads, come up with great marketing campaigns and create great websites. And all of that is helpful, but there will still never be anything that beats the sales conversions of people that buy through your email list. We have not seen this decline with the rise of social media. In fact, it's only risen. And it doesn't mean you don't need to pay attention to social media, but when it comes to actual sales, your email list is key. So I like to help my clients get to a place where they are building their email list by about 50 new subscribers per week. This might seem like a lot to you, it might seem like a little, but it's completely doable. And with some tactical strategies, it doesn't have to take over your life or your entire business either. In fact, a lot of it can be done on autopilot, but it takes a little bit of fine-tuning to get there. Now, then of course, there's the question of what you actually do with your subscribers once they're on the list. And that is a whole different topic within itself, but we're going to brush on it a little bit today. The bottom line is you should be working toward getting engaged subscribers on your email list every single week. Whether you are selling a clothing line, a jewelry line, you're a blogger, you're a coach, consultant, anything at all, you should be working to be getting around 50 people per week on that email list. Once they're on there, you can sell to them, you can communicate with them, you can ask them questions, you can get feedback. The potential is limitless. And I have a program called Limitless List, which is where that comes from, because there truly is no end to the power of the communication you can have with your clients and customers once you have their email. It just will never be paralleled to anything on social media or anything else like that. So without further ado, let's dive into the 5 mistakes you might be making with your email marketing strategy. And this is probably going to apply to you whether you've even started list building or not. So if you are listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I haven't even started this, I don't even have an email list quite yet, that's okay. This is still going to be helpful for you because you'll want to know these things going in to make sure you don't make these mistakes. The first mistake is not treating your email list as the bottom line of your business. So just a couple days ago, I got on a call with someone who was interested in building a business. She wants to leave her 9-to-5 job. She's very smart and has a great vision. And because she is so much of a visionary, she listed to me all the different ideas that she wants to create for her business. So things like starting a podcast, hosting live events, maybe writing a book, and then also coaching people one-on-one. And so she was asking me, how does she kind of do them all at once, and how can she monetize them in different ways with different income streams? Now, what I shared to her is exactly what I want to share with you right now. If you are one of those people, like I am, where you have lots of different ideas and you get really excited about creating lots of different things, like a podcast or a YouTube channel and a website and a blog and an Instagram account and everything else, you need to remember that the point of growing any of those platforms is to get people on your email list. So if you are starting a podcast, you need to make sure there's ways that your podcast listeners can get on your email list. If you are starting an Instagram account, then you need to make sure you're posting on Instagram about how people can sign up for your email list. If you are writing blog posts, how can your readers get onto your email list? Now, this does not at all mean that you need to go do all of those things. And in fact, in the beginning, I don't recommend it. I recommend you pick 1 or 2 ways to really get the word out there and ramp up your list until you get to about 5,000 subscribers. But the good news here is that you should sort of give yourself permission to really focus and remember that you don't need to come up with 15 different income streams in order to have a profitable business. You don't need to have an income stream on your podcast. You don't need to also be making money on your Instagram. You don't need to also be making money from ads on your website and having everything all over the place. And in fact, I do think that you will run yourself to the ground of burnout if you try to make income from all the different areas that you're interested in. Remember that the goal with all of them is to get people on your email list. If you are putting out great Instagram content or a great YouTube channel or a great podcast or whatever else is lighting you up and people are watching it, but then you're not getting their email, that means they are clicking away and you have no way to ever contact them again. You have no way to ever sell to them. You have no way to ever ask what they liked, what they want, what they'd be interested in, all the things you need to know as a business owner to make money. So do not take the risk of putting out excellent content, putting your heart and soul into it, putting all this time into it, and then potentially having people just read it and walk away. You truly cannot afford to do that. Your business depends on it. So remember, any interest that you have, ask yourself, is this going to help me build my email list right now? Now, again, this is a little bit of a generalization because you do get to a point once your email list is big enough and once your revenue is big enough where you have a little bit of more creative mobility. You have a little bit of flexibility to create different things because you already have a strong email list and you probably already have a strong sales strategy in place. But until you're getting to consistent income and until you're getting to consistent subscriber growth, you need your email list to be the bottom line. So that was mistake number 1, not treating your email list like the bottom line. Mistake number 2 is to not see the proper value in an email that is subscribed to you and therefore not investing in growing your list. So a lot of times people are hesitant to run any sort of Facebook ad or maybe invest in a program that teaches them list building or advertise in some way that would get people onto their lead magnet. In other words, they don't want to spend money on this because they don't see how they're getting money right back from a email that they are receiving for free. It's not a direct transaction. And I understand that, but this is a failure to see the total value of an email subscriber. So if you are worried about your Instagram followers or your Facebook likes or your website traffic even, all those numbers are not conversion numbers. But the number on your email list, that is a conversion number. Those are the people that are much more likely to buy from you. And that's where you can start actually guessing based on standards how many people will buy from you from your email list and therefore how much money you'll make because you can go off percentages. Traditionally speaking, you can expect to sell to about 1 to 3% of your email list when you come out with a product or service. And now that might sound low, but it's much higher than just putting something on social media and hoping it sells there. It is going to be enough if you really know what you're doing with it. So for instance, if you have 1,000 email subscribers and you're only going to be able to sell to 1 to 3% of them, then that means about 10 to 30 of them would buy something. But if you have a $200 course that you create, or you have a consulting service that's $1,000, multiply that by 10 to 30 purchases and you're looking at several $1,000s a month. For most people, as they're leaving their 9 to 5, that's enough money. You cannot predict those kinds of conversions with social media because there's too many other factors at play, and you're also relying on social media to advertise for you in the way that you are hoping it will. Those algorithms change all the time, and just statistically speaking, people are far less likely to purchase through an Instagram or Facebook link than they are through an email that they receive. So there is a return on your investment in growing your email list. If you are running Facebook ads, or if you are spending any type of money in order to grow this list so that you can have more of your time focusing on your clients or focusing on your customers or focusing on your next thing, then that's going to be a very smart financial investment, because there is monetary value in every single subscriber. And then it's also buying you your time back by having other people or other means basically grow your email list so that you can work on creating other things within your business and working with your existing customers and clients to make things even better for them. So invest in your email list. There is value in it. And I'm going to do a whole nother episode on how you can actually make money on your email list in different creative ways. So definitely stay tuned for that. But know that it is worth your investment. It is worth your investment. It is worth your investment for so many different ways. And even if you can't directly see that yet, that's okay. That's part of running a business. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to see the return on your investment, but you will. So treat it like the commodity that it is and invest in it the way it deserves to be. Mistake number 3 is when people don't tag or segment their lists. So this can get a little bit confusing, but one of the powers of email lists and email marketing is being able to do reports and understand data about your subscriber list based on the way they've come onto your email list or the activity they've done since they've been on your email list. Now, most CRMs, customer relations managers, have different forms of reports and data they can provide to you based on whatever you're looking for. But I'm just going to share to you in the simplest terms some of the really important ways I myself keep track of my own subscribers and monitor what they're doing and how that's automated within my business. So first things first, I would have just one master list. I sometimes will work with my clients and they have 15 different lists of people that have watched a certain webinar or have gotten on a discovery call or bought something, and it can just be a little bit messy. For most purposes, you want at least just one master list where everyone is on. If you want a couple miscellaneous lists after that for whatever reason, maybe you want a list of people that you know personally, or you want a list of people that have bought something for you. Sometimes it can make sense to have more than one, but for the most part, you want everyone on one list. And then from there, I highly recommend that you get a CRM like ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit, where you are able to tag your subscribers based on their activity and their interest. And so the way this looks in my business is I have a tag for every single free thing someone can do within my business, whether that is come to a webinar or sign up for the checklist for this podcast, or sign up for a different lead magnet, or even visit my website. And I have broken them down each individually on the action, and whenever one of my subscribers does one of those things or comes to my email list from downloading something, they are tagged specifically with that free action. Then I also have purchase tags for everyone that purchases something and what they purchase within my website. Now, a lot of times subscribers will have more than one tag in this case, and in that case it'd be pretty obvious because usually people already are on my email list and have done a few free things before they purchase something, so they have usually several tags, and that's okay. But it's really helpful for me to organize and think, okay, how many people are actually downloading this type of lead magnet, or how many people are actually visiting this page on my website, and how can I give more value based on the things that most people are interacting with. This helps my sales hugely. This helps guide my business. This helps me figure out what I should be creating and what I want to do next, and that's how my business grows so quickly. So you can see just from this example that in the last point I made, this is an investment. I have this free information and feedback from my subscribers on what they like, what they're interested in, what they're wanting to learn more about, and I can literally create new products and offerings based on what they're doing. So take advantage of the data within your CRM and within your subscriber list. Do not just let that sit there and not ever learn from it or take advantage of it. It's hugely valuable. It's free for you. You've already done the work to get it. Don't ignore it. Tip number 4 or mistake number 4 that I see people make is that they don't cleanse their email list. Now, this means that you don't want people on your email list that are completely inactive, or that haven't done anything in a long time, or that haven't bought anything in a long time some of the time. You don't want people on there. I mean, you can't force people to get off. I guess you could, but I wouldn't make someone leave. But I would call someone out if they've been on my email list for years, they've read all the free things, and they're still not taking action. And I don't call them out because I'm offended or because I, need them to buy from me. I call them out because that to me is a sign that they are wanting to do something, they're wanting to move forward, they're interested in something, and they're stalling for whatever reason. But that's a little bit of a tangent here. What I mean by cleanse your email list is make sure that people are on it that are actually being active. And this is important for a lot of reasons. Most of all, you want to pay attention to the open rate of your emails, and you want it to get to around 20% open every time. If it's not, if you're only getting to about 10% open rates, then that probably means a lot of people on your email list aren't opening things, aren't paying attention to you. They probably haven't read your emails in a long time. And for the most part, you are paying for them to be on your email list. Once you get over 1,000 subscribers with most softwares, you have to start paying for them. So don't be paying for people that aren't interacting with you. Now, sometimes this can be a bit of a blow to the ego. Sometimes my clients will have just built their email list by the thousands for the first time, and they're really excited, and they don't want to delete anyone in any way because they don't want their list to go down. However, it actually does not matter how many people are on your list. It matters that people are on your list that are actually buying from you. So if you feel like you have a very inactive list or a very unengaged list, then you should have a system for cleansing the list of people that haven't opened or interacted or anything like that in a while. Now, people have different systems for doing that. Some of my clients will just do it manually every 6 months. They'll filter by people who haven't opened or haven't clicked, and they'll just delete them. Sometimes they'll send them an email saying, what's up? Why aren't you responding? Do you want to stay on this list? And they give them the opportunity to opt out. And then what I do is I have an automated sequence set up where people automatically get a disengaged or unengaged, I think, tag if they have done nothing in over 4 months. And then they go through a sequence of me having them pre-automated emails basically saying, do you still want to be a part of this community? Are you interested in starting or scaling a business or a side hustle? Is there something holding you back? Is there something that you want to ask that you haven't been able to? I really do care about the people in that situation because so much of what I do is help people move forward even when it's scary. And a lot of times I think that that's where that situation can be. But again, I'm not trying to get on a tangent of why you need to follow up with people if they're unengaged. The point is, do pay attention to your list. Do make sure it's a high quality list. Do make sure people are on there that are being active, because you are paying for them to be inactive if not, and you don't want to be just spam in someone's inbox. They don't like it, and there's no reason for you to do it. So don't just let your list sit there and then wonder why you're getting a low open rate, why you don't have big sales conversions, why no one's really interacting with you if you haven't actually gone through and maintained it in a little while. The fifth and final and by far biggest mistake that I see every day, do not let this be you, is that people do so much of what I just said right. They don't make those mistakes. They get people on their list. They get their list growing by 50 people a week. They have their lead magnet out there. They have Facebook ads running, and then they let their list just sit there. They don't do anything with them after that. They just don't know what to email them. They're nervous to email them. They're just sitting there. I hear you if you're nervous about sending an email. I was too. Everyone is the first time. I sent emails for months to people that were just basically like my mom and my then boyfriend, now fiance, and whoever managed to have randomly found me on Pinterest basically for a long time. So I get it. It's scary and it doesn't feel good to put all this time and energy writing newsletters that no one's really reading because you might have a small list. On the other hand, you feel like, you know, if you send it out to a lot of people, then that's going to be nerve-wracking. I understand the hesitation that comes with it, but you have to push yourself and stay disciplined with staying consistent in the amount of emails you decide to send out each week. In an ideal world, you'd be sending out 1 value email and 1 sales email at least a week, so 2 emails per week at least. But if nothing else, pick what works for you once a month. Actually, I don't even want to say that. Once a week, once every other week, twice a week, whatever it is. Do it every week. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be, you know, your best work you've ever written every single week. They will not be every single week, and that's okay, but you have to keep nurturing them. You have to keep adding value to them. You have to keep them remembering who you are and why they signed up for your email list. Because if you want any of this to work, if you want to be able to make sales the way that I know email lists have the power to do, if you want your business to be driven by an email list, which can be very automated and very powerful, you have to keep consistent and have them knowing who you are so that when you sell something, they don't feel like they're being completely sold to by a stranger. That's not what we're trying to do here. Plus, if you don't keep that communication with them, that relationship with them, if you need something from them, like other than sales, if you want to ask them a question or give them a survey or have them email you back about their opinion on something, they're not going to do it. Why would they? They don't trust you and you've given them no reason to. You have to stay consistent. So that is by far the biggest mistake, is getting people on your list and then not communicating with them consistently. If that's you, don't beat yourself up about it, but I challenge you to get off of this. Go write down 4 emails that you're going to send over the next 4 weeks, at least the subject lines, and just carve out time out of your calendar to write them, schedule them, and don't think about it anymore. This is a non-negotiable, you guys. Okay, recapping really quick, the 5 biggest mistakes I see in email marketing are: 1, not treating your list like the bottom line; 2, not seeing the proper value in your email list and therefore not investing in it; 3, not tagging and segmenting your list or keeping track of the actions that they're doing; 4, not cleansing your list periodically; and 5, not being consistent in communicating with people once they are on your list. If you are guilty of any of these mistakes, don't worry, it's nothing that can't be undone, and today is the day that you can get off of watching this video or listening to this podcast and penciling your calendar when you can step up your list building game, because I know your business growth and income will be a reflection of that extra effort. So I hope that this is helpful for you guys. And just one more time, if you want to see my best performing lead magnet ever, the one that gets people on my list every single day and has for years, then just go to urban20something/lead-magnet, and you can download it for free. You'll get the entire piece of content as well as a breakdown on why it works so well and tips for you to take and recreate something similar and just as powerful in your own business, so you can experience the same amount of list growth, get to over 50 people a week or whatever your goal may be, and start seeing the income and business growth you deserve as a result. So I hope you guys have an awesome day, and stay tuned for another really powerful episode on ways to make money from your list coming very soon. And if you guys ever have any questions, just let me know. I love hearing from you all. You can email us at help@urban20something.com. For now, here is to your biggest vision.